Welcome to All Play Radio, ladies and gentlemen. Hearthstone is a collectible card game based on the many races, places, and faces within the World of Warcraft franchise. While some play competitively, hoping to climb the rank ladder, others play casually, sometimes once a day at most. Enter the Tavern Brawl, a casual mode that takes the usual rules of Hearthstone and mixes them up a bit. Every Wednesday, a different gimmick or special effect or restriction is introduced to Tavern Brawl mode and is active until Monday morning or Sunday night that same week, depending on your region. The change in rules often changes which cards are strong and which are useless, and sometimes even gives you a puzzle to figure out how to build your deck. Let's take a look at the top 5 Tavern Brawls of 2016. Now, this list is personal. These are all my favorites from the past year. You may or may not disagree with the experience that I had, and that's perfectly fine. If you have a Tavern Brawl that you found more interesting than one that I listed, feel free to post it in the comment section below. Now, in no specific order, here are my favorite Tavern Brawls from 2016. Servant of Yogg-Saron Tryouts. With the release of the expansion Whispers of the Old Gods came a minion by the name of Servant of Yogg-Saron. It has 5 attack, 4 health, and costs 5 mana to cast. When you cast Servant of Yogg-Saron, it casts a random spell with a random target. A random spell with a random target. Clearly this means that the old servant can pull anything out of the bag. But what if every minion functioned this way? That's the ideal of this brawl. Pick a hero, get a deck of 30 random minions, and have at it. Literally anything could happen. Might get a secret to protect you. Might heal yourself. Might heal your opponent. Might just blow everything up. Top 2. Top 2 asks one of the most simple questions that Hearthstone could ask. What if you only had 2 different cards in your deck? What if you had 15 copies of both of those cards? What sounds like a lazy idea for a brawl ended up being an idea that produced the wildest results imaginable. Even the legendary limitation was lifted. Though it was entirely pointless, you could have a deck of 15 Reno Jacksons if you wanted. What sets Top 2 apart from other brawls is that the meta is usually figured out within the first few hours of release. Top 2 was one of the very few brawls that was entertaining to participate in for the entire 4 or 5 day period it was released. And to mix it up a little further, we later got to play Top 3. Instead of 15 copies of 2 different cards, we got 10 copies of 3 different cards. Deal your fate. There's absolutely no way I could write a proper top 5 list without including Deal Your Fate. The idea is simple. It's your average game of Wild Hearthstone, except each player picks a rule that affects both players. Want extra mana? You can choose to give every minion, a death rattle effect that gives you a coin. Need to protect yourself? Give all the minions taunts so you're safe for a while. Once you drop below a certain amount of health, you pick another rule that affects both players, and this time the rule is much stronger. With the right combination of rules and certain cards in your deck, this brawl has the potential to get really sloppy really quickly. Storming Stormwind. Typically for Tavern Brawl, you face off against another player. We've had the occasional co-op brawl where instead you're paired up with another player and fighting a special minion, but 99% of all of our Tavern Brawls have focused on you and another player. That 1% that mixed it up is Storming Stormwind. The only single-player Tavern Brawl we've had, Storming Stormwind puts you against the City of Stormwind, asking you to deal as much damage as possible before you run out of health. The city summons minions that get stronger each time they appear. This brawl felt very reminiscent of the challenges we're given in adventure mode and was very welcome. It was fun trying to figure out how to build the best deck possible to deal as much damage as we could before we died ourselves. Clash of the Minions. Nothing's better than giving your minions more abilities, right? That's what Clash of the Minions made it feel like. All your minions receive the charge and taunt abilities, meaning everybody's going head-to-head and only the strongest would survive. It had a huge effect on deck building. Minions like Ancient Watcher and Eerie Statue started to see more play than usual because they can't do much otherwise. They also made minions that already had charge or taunt a little less valuable than normal. That's the key element to the best Tavern Brawls. Make us switch up how we build up our decks from time to time. Casual format is casual. There you have it. The top 5 Tavern Brawls of 2016 in no specific order. A quick note before we go. Tavern Brawl has been on hiatus since October 2016 and will remain on hiatus until further notice. Many of the more recent Tavern Brawls have all been repeats or seemingly not too different from a typical game of Hearthstone, and I like to showcase the brawls that stand out much like the ones featured here today. As the winter season begins, alt play will be undergoing its yearly changes in scheduling as well as production. Rest assured that Tavern Brawl will return in due time. Follow the alt play on Twitter for more updates on programming of all shows. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe so that you can see more as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching.